Hello, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and this is episode 37 of my Billions and Billions challenge. In today's episode, I am going to set up an automatic system to get more resources using the mods Actual Additions, Advanced Generators, and the ethanol that I've been producing from my tree farm, which actually isn't active right now, because for whatever reason it eats into my frame rate after a little while. So let's get started. So I do have a lot of ethanol. Let's go up here and let's take a look at that. I have 162,000 buckets worth of ethanol, which is a lot. So the first thing I want to do is I want to grab my fluid storage bus here, and I want to hook this up to my ME system. And all I have to do is slap it right here because I have everything else all set up. And what we're going to do is we are going to partition this to store only ethanol here, and then this is going to have a positive priority of 1000. I actually don't need that at all because that's the only liquid that is coming into my system by any means whatsoever, but I just like to do that anyways. So the next thing I want to do is set up some generators from the mod Advanced Generators. Now what this mod does is it is able to create multi-block structures that can create power using turbine blocks, controller, some compressors and mixers, and tanks and generators here. So let's, and actually, you know what? I am missing a block type that I need. So let's go back to my base. And let's get that. So we should have a fluid acceptor of some sort. And I'm not sure what the block is called. Fluid intake valve. So let's grab some of those. And I don't think we need these fuel tanks here, to be honest. So let's get rid of those because I actually had my generators planned out as far as how many blocks each one will be. And for whatever reason, I forgot the fluid intake valves. But what we're going to do here is we are going to set up some fluid export buses on these covered cables right here. So let's go ahead and do that. And we do want to add acceleration cards, and we are going to tell it to export ethanol. And we have to use a bucket for that. So that is why I have a bucket of ethanol in my inventory. So let's go ahead and set up the rest of these guys. And there we go. And so the next thing we need to do is we need to set down the fluid intake valves for each of the 4 generators that I'm going to be making. And they are going to go right here. So I do need to knock out these torches. And what I want to do is let's go ahead and replace these torches by adding torches out here. That way I know for a fact that there won't be monsters down here. Okay, that's fine. And then fluid intake valves. Let's go ahead and set down the controllers. So the footprint of each of these turbines is going to be 3 by 3 by 5. And the controllers are the blocks that actually you will interact with. And actually, I'm not sure. You might be able to interact with the other blocks as well. So let's go ahead and set up the mixers and compressors because we also need these. We actually don't need these. What these blocks do is they increase the fuel efficiency. Obviously, you want to have as high of fuel efficiency as you can. And for me, these blocks aren't very expensive. So obviously, I decided to add them. So the next thing is we need to have the flex generators, and where I want these are going to be, let's put them right here, I think. And let's see there. Hopefully this will be okay. And then the rest of the blocks are just going to be these turbine blocks. Now these turbine blocks are actually what provide the power. And there are different types of turbine blocks here. Let's take a look at some of the turbine blocks here. And I didn't mean to double click that. But there are different tiers here. You have steel, you have gold, you have bronze, and I think there's iron somewhere. I'm not seeing it. There it is. And then you have manulin, indium, and I think there's another top tier one as well. But yeah, so anyways, I have a bunch of indium turbines here, and what we're going to do is we are going to just add them carefully like so. And I am holding the shift button here because this is a valid structure, I believe. So yes. And actually, it can be kind of any shape you want it to be. Yeah, and the ethanol is working, so this turbine is actually working at this point. It's not providing power to anything. And this is a little more complicated than I thought, but that's okay. There we go. So each of these turbines will look like this. They will have 40 of the turbines. They will be able to provide 20,000 RF per tick, and this power will be going here. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and build the rest of these off camera. It's going to take a couple minutes, and once I have the turbines actually built all the way up, I will be right back. So I've actually decided to change the location of the flux generator here, and that is because I actually want them to be in the middle bottom here of the generators. So let's go ahead and actually finish up all of the generators. So as you can see, I moved all of them, and that's because I just want to be able to give the capacitor energy from underneath. I think that'll be just a little bit easier for me to do. So let's go ahead and get out the flux bore here. Let's change it to 1x2 mode, and let's dig down here. And one thing I should mention is that this building actually has 2 basements, and that's going to be pretty useful here in a minute. So let's go ahead and hook these bad boys up. So what I'm going to do is dig this over again, and then we are going to dig under the capacitor, and under this one, and under here. So let's grab the ender energy conduit here. And so the cool thing about this is the max output is 20,480 RF per tick, or microinfinities per tick. And these actually produce just under the 20,000 RF per tick. However, I believe this is per connection, so it will be able to transfer all of the energy. I just need to make sure to have 4 different inputs on my vibrant capacitor here. So let me grab my crescent hammer, and what we're going to do is we're going to set all 4 of these to be input here, and that should be able to handle all the energy from these generators here. And they are running, and they have nowhere for their energy to go. So actually, that doesn't look good. So let me grab this, and let me see if I can't get this to connect up. No, this might not work. So here, maybe if I do something like this, I can get it to connect up. Okay, so this isn't going to connect up, so I have something else I can try. So let me teleport back to my base, and let me grab some energy cells. And then some resonant conversion kits as well. And let's try this again. Okay, I think this will work, but I'm not 100% sure, obviously. And I only grabbed one of the energy cells. That was dumb. Okay, so let's set this to be input out the top, and it is, so that's cool. So that is going to work. So what we're going to do is output to the bottom. We are going to add a resonant conversion kit here. I am going to add this turbine back because it needs it. And as you can see, this is working, and it should. Okay, so, oof. I'm not sure, but I kind of want to add a tank to these things. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I am going to add a tank to these. The cool thing about these multi-block structures is that you can kind of have them to be any shape you want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a tank right here to all of the indium turbines. I'm also going to run back to my base, get more of these energy cells, and then I'm going to connect the energy cells up to the vibrant capacitor here with some of these energy conduits. And after I have all of that done, I will be right back. So it looks like everything is in order now. I have an extra tank attached to each of the gas turbine controllers, or gas turbines I should say. And as you can see, they now hold 17,000 millibuckets, or 17 buckets worth of ethanol, so they never run out. Also, all of the energy is flowing into here like I suspected. It is just over the 20,000 RF per tick per connection. So we are getting the full amount of power into this capacitor. So now we can continue with this setup. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go up to this basement, and we are going to knock a hole in the floor. And we are going to do just across the ceiling right here. And whoops, didn't mean to do that. So let's just go over here and let's finish this out. There we go. So we need this hole in the floor because we have some stuff that we are going to be putting in there. So let's get rid of some junk here. So some of this cobblestone I don't need. I might need this conduit. I'm not 100% sure. So let's go ahead and set up a small scale model of what I'm going to be doing here. So I need an atomic reconstructor, an auto breaker, and an auto placer. And I'm going to need a lens of the miner for the atomic reconstructor. And then let's get, I have some buttons with me. Let's get a redstone furnace as well. Let's pick up this red print. And I need a cobblestone generator. Apparently I forgot to put that in this chest. Let me go back to my main base and grab those. I know I already have those crafted. Yeah, here they are. So here's the cobblestone generators. Let's go back to the ocean island there. And let's run back over to the basement. And let's start to set this little system up. So let's begin by putting stuff over here. So what we're going to do is the auto placer is going to be facing up right here. And I will need to change the mode of these guys. I don't have my redstone torches, do I? Or do I'm... yeah, I do. So let's also grab the timer, the repeaters, and some of these redstone relays maybe. Yeah, that's it for right now. So let's go ahead and for these auto placers, I'm actually going to need to change up what I have right now just for right here. But right here, let's do the breakers. And I will need item conduit right here. And I don't think I have item conduit with me. Or item duct, rather. Let's see here. So I can use this redstone conduit here. Let's try that, see if that's going to be a pain. I think it actually is going to be kind of a pain here. Because what we will need to do with each of these redstone, we will need to actually direct it, like so. And let's say for the auto placers, let's go ahead and tell it. Let's actually not tell it anything. Let's not have any output or input there. And then what we're gonna do for, let's see, can I actually get to that? This, we're going to be an output on the, okay, so this is the breaker. That's gonna be the third thing that needs to be fired by redstone. So let's, red is first, green. Let's do brown, output on brown. And just for kicks, let's do strong signal. I'm not sure, I don't think I need that, but I am going to tell it strong signal anyways. So let's go ahead and build the Atomic Reconstructor. Now the Atomic Reconstructor will need lots of power. Let's set it right here. And we also need to slap on the lens of the miner here. Okay, so what the lens of the miner is going to do is any block of stone that the laser hits from the Atomic Reconstructor, as long as it has enough power, that is, it will turn it into an ore of some type. So what we're going to do is eventually we're going to be placing stone into the auto placer here. And actually, I'm not going to be able to do that. What I'm going to need to do is I'm going to actually need to cut down on these turbines here. Yeah, I'm going to need to go ahead and do this. Because these two are going to be kind of in the way if I don't. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to add these blocks back to the bottoms of the turbines here. I'm also going to need to reconfigure the fluid inputs here. So I need to kind of rebuild these two turbines. And that's going to take just a second. So once I have that done, I will be right back. So I think I have my turbines all sorted out. Let's continue with the project here. So the next thing I want to put down are going to be the redstone furnaces. And these are going to be right here. So what I need to do with the redstone furnaces is I need to have the input on the right side, and then the output is going to be to the top, which will output stone into the placer. But now I need to get cobblestone into the redstone furnaces, and that's what the cobblestone generators are going to be for. So okay, that is, okay, so what I need to do is I need to change the deactivation mode to not deactivation mode. So I need to change that to pulse mode. So basically, these will only pulse when they get a redstone signal. Obviously, the Atomic Reconstructor was not pulsing because it does not have power. If you look at the bottom left of the screen, you can see that it has no power, and obviously it's not connected to anything. So it does need power, and we can fix that up. But right here in this block space, what we're going to do is we are going to have structural duct. If I can grab that, if I have that with me, which I don't for some reason. Okay, so let's go back and grab that. I should have a bunch of this made up, and I don't. But this is actually very easy to make, so I should be able to make a bunch of it really, really quickly. So let's just grab a bunch of it, and then let's return to the ocean island. Sorry about going back and forth so much. I thought I had everything I needed. Clearly I didn't. So let's go ahead and continue here. So what we're going to do here is the structural duct will be placed right here, and I think this will be an easier way to actually get the redstone signal to these machines, is using redstone relays here. So this will be output, this will be on red, this will be output, this will be on green, and then this will be on the brown. And actually I should have this reversed. This should be on red, this should be on green, because what should happen is I'm going to set up a redstone timer mechanism here in just a little bit. So first off, the autoplacer will place down a block of stone. Next, the Atomic Reconstructor will hit it with its laser, which will turn the stone into an ore of some type, and then the breaker will break it and actually take it to another inventory. And for that, we're going to use item conduit. So we're going to have some item conduit right here as well. This will not be attached in any way, shape, or form. This will need to be extract always on the green channel. And obviously it has nowhere to go, so it's not going anywhere at this point, but it will have a place to go. That'll be the ender chests that I'm going to set up. So, okay, so let's actually see this in action. So I have some buttons here. Let's see, can I place the buttons on the side of the machines here? I can. So what's going to happen is we're going to place a block of stone. We're going to hit it with a laser, and I don't have that attached to power. So let's actually do that right now. So what I have for that is going to be some cryostabilized flux duct, and we're just going to run this across like so. Because I am going to bring this system across the room. And let's see, how can we hook it up neatly to this? So let's actually just punch a hole right here. Let's actually do right here and right here. And then on... Actually, no. You know what? Let's do it right here and right here. And that's because my outputs are to the side. I've already set up the outputs to be over here. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's just bring this up through the floor here. Actually, I should have some covers somewhere. Okay, I thought I had some covers somewhere. Apparently I don't. I do. Okay, cool. So here's my covers. And let's make this look as neat as we can. And actually, if I want to make this super neat, what I'll do is I would also get rid of that block. And let's go ahead and put that turbine block back because I did not mean to get rid of that. Okay, so unfortunately this is a little messy getting this to look exactly how I want it. We do want this to be as neat as possible. And it's probably easier if I do it now rather than do it later. So there we go. And then we'll just run this. Am I just going to run this over through the floor? I think that... No, that won't work at all. Because I need the auto placers to be in this block space. So I'm going to have to carry this over and then go up. So let's get rid of all this. That's on me. I should know not to do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and make this look neat while we can. There we go. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. Let's get rid of these. Carry this straight over. Excuse me. And let's get rid of that for the time being. Because the thing is, it's really hard to place the covers on these cryostabilized flux ducts if they are already connected to other cryostabilized flux duct. So that's why I'm kind of doing it the way I am. So this should get power. So we are getting power here. I may also consider doing an upward connection here, as in connect it from the top and the side. And actually, you know what, let's go ahead and do that. And that's just to increase the amount of power we can give to the Atomic Reconstructors. For, I believe that the Atomic Reconstructor can only accept so much energy per side of the block. So by having it connected on 2 different sides, it will actually be able to accept more power. So let's also go ahead. Oh, that's not meant to be connected here. Let's disconnect that, because there's a capacitor in this wall here. And that's on me. So we want that to be disabled, and it's right here, this block space right here. So that should be disabled, and it should not be connected, which it's not. So sorry about that. Totally forgot about that. Capacitor in the wall there. That is the wrong thing there. Whoops. Let's wrench that away. And then add that back. Okay, cool. So we will have our power here. So let's go ahead and hit this button. So we'll laser this into an ore. So we got coal ore. And so then next the block breaker will break it. And we'll have the coal into here. So the block breaker will actually change diamonds and emeralds. Diamond ore and emerald ore into like diamonds and emeralds rather than the ore itself. It's almost like if you had a pickaxe. So that's how the system's going to operate. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this system and pull it across the room, and that's going to take some time. So basically the first step here is I'm going to add all of the auto placers. So let's actually just do the auto placers, and then I'll do everything else off camera. But what we're going to do is we're going to take the auto placers, and actually I need to shift and hold spacebar at the same time, that way I can fly. But I need all of these to be facing up. I need to change them to pulse mode. Then I need to hook them up to the redstone relays over here. I need to add the block breakers and the Atomic Reconstructors. Basically, I just need to replicate that system all across the room. And I'm going to go ahead and do this off camera. And once I have that done, I will be right back. So I have the setup expanded across the room, and everything should be connected up like I need it. Now I just need to set up a timer mechanism, but first off, let's actually test that everything is going to work just okay. So actually, there is one thing I did forget, and that is to power the redstone furnaces here. But we can do this pretty simply by doing something like this. So actually, let's kind of limit our connections. Let's not do the over connection here. And then let's just run this across. There we go. And let me see here. There's not a capacitor here, so I don't need to worry about that. Okay, so all those furnaces should have power now. So if we go up and we take a look at the block placers, they all should have at least a little bit of stone in them. So that looks fantastic. Okay, at some point soon they should all have stone in them. I'm not really sure why all of them aren't running just yet. So let me... Actually, some of the redstone modes might not be correct. Okay, why are we not getting stone from that? That's odd. That's really, really odd, because that should be getting stone. I'm not really sure why it's not. I'm not really sure why some of these aren't getting stone. And then others are doing fine, because they're all set up the same. I shouldn't need the auto input enabled, because they should be able to kick out on their own. Maybe I do need to enable it. I'm not really sure why that's happening on some of them, but so let me go ahead and fix that off camera real fast. And once I have the auto input enabled on all of the redstone furnaces, hopefully that'll fix the problem, and then I will be right back. So it appears I have everything fixed. One thing that I did do is I replaced my cobblestone generators with dense cobblestone generators. They generate a whole lot more cobblestone. And as we can see, all of the redstone furnaces are full up on cobblestone, and they are operational. I also discovered a few of my redstone furnaces were not fully upgraded, so I also rectified that. So let's go ahead and set up the redstone here, because that's the one of the last steps here anyways. So for the, and actually I'm not sure what I have along the back wall anymore. So for the auto breakers, I actually have the redstone conduit here, and I had to run it along the back wall, as well as the item conduits that will go to the ender chest here that will take everything back to my main base. That's right here. So let's go ahead and set up the ender chest, and let's actually put it, let's just do right here. So let's actually set this to 1x1 mode. It already was. And let's take this item conduit here. Let's set this up to be input, and there should actually be a little bit of cobblestone. Yeah, there we go. The cobblestone and the coal from earlier. And then let's grab this redstone conduit here, and let's run it here. So now I need to actually set up a timer mechanism somewhere out here. So what I'm going to do is let's go up and actually grab everything that we need. So I should need a timer and redstone repeaters and maybe a lever to shut the system off. So first off, let's actually run all the conduit, and then we can start testing it. So let's run the structural duct from over here, and for the time being, let's just run it straight over and then drop it down somewhere, say right here. So I think that will work fine. I think I just got rid of a torch accidentally. Yeah, I did. Oh well. Let's actually double check that I don't need another torch up here. Doesn't look like I do. Cool. So this is where I'm going to get the redstone signal for the auto placers and the atomic reconstructors. And then let's grab the redstone and run this over. Actually, I could run this through the floor, but I don't think I'm going to. Let's actually get rid of this, and also get rid of that connection. I don't want that there. And then let's run this over. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add 2 relays right here and right here, and then this will be able to connect up with a redstone repeater, I believe. So we're going to have repeaters here, here, and here. And actually, I might get rid of one of the repeaters. So the placers are the first thing that need to fire, and they should be on the red channel here. So let's actually get rid of this first repeater and just place down some redstone. And I should have some redstone somewhere in here. I do. Let me grab that repeater back, because I might need it. I'm not sure. So what we're going to do is we're going to hook this up like so, and then I'm going to put a timer right here. So we're going to fire this, and that is inaccurate. So what we're going to do is this will be on red, input on red. This will be input on green, and then this will be input on brown. Okay, so what we're going to do is this is going to have a 1 tick delay, and this is going to, let's do a 3 tick delay real fast. So right now nothing should be happening, and there shouldn't be anything up here, which there isn't. And actually, I actually wanted to go ahead and test this first to make sure all my redstone's hooked up correctly. And how we can do that is we can actually get rid of this redstone, and we can put down these buttons here. Okay, so this first one should activate the placers. So let's go ahead and hit that button. Okay, so we have stone all along there, which is what I wanted to see. This should activate the Atomic Reconstructors. Okay, we heard the laser. Let's see if it did stuff. So it did. So looks like we're getting copper, coal, iron, black quartz, more coal, lead, some tanzanite. Okay, cool. So, yeah. And then this last one should break everything. And then everything should make its way over here. So cool. So there are going to be some things that I am going to need to get rid of, such as the tanzanite, the rubies, and some of the other stuff as well. Other stuff is just going to be an ore form, just as if you mined it with a pickaxe. basically the auto breaker acts like a pickaxe. So it looks like everything is set up correctly as far as the redstone is concerned. So let's go ahead and get these buttons away, and let's set up my timer mechanism. So if I remember right, I can run this quite fast. Not that fast though. So I have this set to 3 tick delay, so I need to have at least 4 total ticks here. I think I can run this system as fast as, I want to say 5 ticks might be possible, but I'm not going to try that just yet. Let's set it to be 1, and then we are going to pause while redstone is active. So this system is very loud. That's one drawback about it. So let's go upstairs and see if it's actually functioning correctly. Okay, so it looks like it is. And the Atomic Reconstructors appear as if they are getting all of the power that they need. So yeah, this system is going to be good for certain things like iron ore, but it's going to be kind of poor for things like emeralds and diamonds. And it'll also be okay for gold ore. But as you can see, I do have a lot of iron ore already, so that's obviously pretty good. Yeah, and there are going to be things that I need to throw away, like the apatite, the amber, sapphires, tanzanite, things like that. These are going to be things that I am just going to scrap. I don't need them in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, just gonna scrap those. So let's kind of test the upper bounds of how fast I can run this system. So let's go 10. I think I can run it faster than that, but I'm not sure. Let's check this out now. Okay, that appears functional. And one way I can check the functionality here is actually if I take out this cobblestone here and then I just put everything back. If I get any cobblestone in the system, I know that not everything is able to fire in a timely manner. So let's up the speed again. Let's try 5. I'm not sure if it can run this fast or not, but we're going to try. Theoretically here, I think it should be able to. Because this is set to a 3 tick delay, and that is the longest delay of anything. And this is set to 5 ticks, but we shall see. Theoretically, I think the fastest I can run the system as I have it set up is 4 ticks, but I'm not sure it can actually run that fast. Okay, visually, everything looks like it's running fine. I didn't check the power consumption though. That's the last thing I need to check there. So let's try to run this at 4 ticks. I'm not sure if it will be able to. And actually, I can try to. What we can do is let's actually set this to 2 ticks and let's see if that is enough time for this to operate. It does not look like it. So yeah, I had a hunch that that was the case there. So let's set that back to 3 ticks. Let's see if that's operational now. Basically, the laser needs a little bit of time on its own. Apparently, its operation takes more than a tick. So having the laser go and then 1 tick later having the block breakers activate is too fast. So let's go ahead and check the tail of the tape here. Okay, so actually, it was functioning correctly when I had it set to 2 ticks. It just didn't have the time to show it. So I don't have any cobblestone in my system, so that was functioning correctly. Okay, so let's set this back to 2 ticks, and let's see if we can run this faster. Let's go down to 4. So I'm not even going to go upstairs. I'm just going to go ahead and check this. Okay, so first off, we're not getting any cobblestone whatsoever, so the system is still functioning. So even if you couldn't see it, and we couldn't see it before when I had the lasers. Okay, so that's interesting. Maybe it's not functioning correctly. Let's check this again. Let's check up here. So I'm not sure if it's actually functioning correctly all of the time, because the last thing that should fire are the block breakers here, and obviously there are still blocks here, so that is not how I want this. Okay, so let's set this back to 5 because I think that's about as fast as we can run this system. Let's set this back to 3 because we don't need it to be set at 2. And let's see if everything's going to function correctly. Okay, so it looks like everything is functioning correctly. The last thing I need to do is I need to test the power draw here. So I do want to do that before I leave today. And so let's go ahead and do that. I just need to look at the capacitor here. Okay, sorry if that's a little loud, but it looks like everything's okay. I was checking all of the turbines to see what their buffers were at, and it looks like they're actually doing pretty well. They were doing pretty well, as well as the capacitor here. I know that once in a while the number would flash up to something like 90,000 or maybe even 100,000 once or twice. But the thing is, the average consumption was actually below the 80,000 RI per tick that we are producing with the 4 of the turbines here. So I think that is a good build. One thing I will do is I will add some blocks to dampen the noise. I think they're called like mufflers or something. And I don't have them with me right now. Yeah, mufflers right here. But this system is going to be operational. I'm not going to turn it on for the conclusion of the episode, but in today's episode, I set up this system right here that runs off of the ethanol power, and it will be able to produce quite a bit of stuff for my ME system. On the other end of this ender chest, I will set up an import bus between episodes, but all of this stuff here will be going into my ME system. And it looks like this system is rather good at producing iron ore, so that is pretty nice to see. The not so nice thing to see is that it is not very good at producing emeralds or diamonds. It seems to be okay at producing gold ore though, so that's pretty good. It is a pretty neat system using some redstone, some energy, and some blocks from the mod actual editions. So if you enjoyed today's episode, feel free to drop a like down below. And if you like watching automation type stuff in modern Minecraft, such as this nifty little system right here, definitely consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Anyways, signing off, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and I will see you next time.